Chapter 6396. Maria nodded and said, "It's not a ring, nor a medicine cauldron." "Then what exactly affects the aurora?" Charlie asked her. "Could it be the effect of the magnetic field?" Maria shook her head and said, "It's unlikely. The formation principle of the aurora can't give it such a shape." As she was speaking, she exclaimed again, "Young master, look! The aurora has changed again." Charlie looked closely and saw that the vortex-shaped light spot that was originally like the Milky Way suddenly began to be divided into 4 parts like a cake. The light spots in each area began to gather towards the center of the area. As the speed of gathering became faster and faster, and the density became higher and higher, a shape like 2 letters Z crossed suddenly appeared in the air. Maria looked extremely horrified and murmured, "Young master, how can the aurora become a swastika?" Charlie was just saying that this image looked familiar. It turned out to be the swastika used by many religions. At this moment, the shape of the swastika had been completely formed, and then it slowly rotated above the heads of the 2 people. Maria was stunned. She had been a devout Buddhist since she was a child. Seeing the aurora suddenly present such a spectacle, her pious heart drove her to kneel on the ground immediately, clasped her hands together, and silently said in her heart, "I am Maria Lin, born in southern Yunnan in the 2nd year of Longwu in the southern Ming dynasty. I have believed in Buddhism and have been kind all my life. I hope that the Buddha will bless us to get revenge and achieve great success." Just as she was praying for the Buddha's blessing for Charlie in her heart, Charlie looked up at the swastika slowly rotating in the sky and suddenly said, "This pattern is a religious swastika when viewed from below, which has a good meaning. But if you look at it from the sky, doesn't it become the logo of the German Nazi? The 2 logos happen to be completely mirrored. And this thing is always rotating, so you can't tell whether it is tilted or straight. If someone sees it from the sky on an airplane, they would think that God wants to resurrect the Nazis." Maria just felt very surprised. After praying for Charlie, she was about to stand up, but suddenly heard these words. She lost her balance and almost fell down. Charlie quickly reached out to support her and heard her say softly, "Young master, don't make fun of the Buddha in the future." Charlie said with a look of grievance, "I didn't make a joke about the Buddha. It's just that this swastika has 2 different meanings when you look at it forward and backward." Maria said helplessly, "This place is close to the Arctic Circle, and it is unlikely that there will be planes flying over. So this scene is natural for the people on the ground to see. In other words, it should be for us to see." Charlie asked her, "Do you mean someone deliberately wants us to see this scene?" Maria said, "Whether it is intentional or not, I don't know. But I believe that all this must be related to you." Although Charlie also felt that this strange phenomenon should be somewhat related to himself, he couldn't sort out any clues for a while. Just as he was puzzled, the swastika in the sky spun faster and faster, and many scattered light spots were even thrown out by the high-speed rotation. The whole swastika was like a rotating firework, constantly throwing out bright and dazzling light and shadows until it burned itself out. Then, the light spots thrown into the sky flickered alternately at different frequencies. For a moment, it was like the countless stars seen on the top of a mountain in summer, shining like a dream. As the flashing frequencies of these light spots were different, Charlie suddenly discovered that with a certain flash, the light spots in the sky that were lit at the same time could just form an image. The image was like a big hand, making incredible gestures in the air. Afterward, the light spots that continued to flash made the previous gesture disappear. After a few seconds, another new gesture appeared. Charlie asked Maria, "Miss Lin, did you see those gestures?" Maria shook her head and asked him puzzledly, "What gestures are you talking about?" Charlie pointed to the 3rd gesture in the air and said, "That's it. Look, those stars shining at the same time. Don't they look like a gesture? What I said may be a little abstract, But if you look at these stars with the same way you look at constellations, you can see that it does form a pattern.